Good morning. Thank you. Our board likes that energy. Happy Wednesday. It's good to have everyone here. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you're enjoying the beautiful weather. Thank you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Please, using the old local beverage company, please enjoy responsibly. A lot of green out there. That's good to see those of you who have some Irish in you. Great, wonderful. And for those of you who are celebrating Ramadan, we wish you a wonderful celebratory season. So with that, board, anything else? All right, wonderful. We will call to order.
Commissioner Ashworth.
Here.
Commissioner Banks.
Here.
Commissioner Hassler.
Here.
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 Would you please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. And has everyone adjusted to the new time? Still working at it? Yeah, you made it here in time, so everybody got up a little earlier than normal. But anyway, nonetheless. Sir, it looks like we have a busy agenda today.
Yes, sir. No doubt about it.
Very good. It sounds like and looks like we have 4 of you who are joining the protection agency. So if those of you who are from St. Louis, or soon to be from the St. Louis Airport Police Department, if you'd please come forward. We'll go ahead and swear you in. If you'll just form a line in front of us, that'd be great. Take a deep breath. All right. Very relaxed. Thank you. Thank you. We got a comedian amongst us. If you're already ready. Man, you are fast. Would you like to do that? If you will raise your right hand and repeat after us. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I am a citizen of the United States. That I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, the state of Missouri, and the charter and ordinances of St. Louis County. That I will faithfully adhere to the regulations provided in the rules and procedures for deputization as adopted by St. Louis County. And that I will faithfully demean myself as a deputized officer of the St. Louis County Police. So help me God. Congratulations. We have one more thing for you, but congratulations. It's wonderful. So the final piece of the swearing in for you is, as a deputized officer of St. Louis County, you're restricted to the protection of persons and property at Lambert, St. Louis International Airport. Gentlemen, thank you for what you're going to do to protect us all. We appreciate it. Did I miss anything since you were here like at dark 30 this morning? I passed you in the hallway and you had your arm up. Anything else? Great. Thank you for relaxing with us and getting to relax. Gentlemen, thank you.
I'm married to a Barra. Probably related.
Congratulations. Gentlemen, you are welcome to stay, or quite candidly, if you need to go to work, we understand.
Save us a parking space.
Always appreciate that. Sir, we will bounce it over to you. We have some service stars. Sorry, it stays with us for a moment. So one of the best things the board gets to do is thank those of you who are getting some service stars. Your stars and your years of service are truly appreciated by us and without knowing the community and our citizens. So thank you very much. So what we're going to do, we're going to call your name, we're going to congratulate you, we're going to clap for you, and if you would come forward and receive your service star, and if you wouldn't mind shaking the chief's hand and getting a picture from Lori, and then you can shake the board's hand, and we will move on from there. No long speeches today, okay? Everybody only gets 1 minute. That's a joke, just a joke. All right, up first, our one and only 25-year award recipient this time is from the Division of Operations Support, Captain Jeremy Romo, with 25 years, coming up in about 2 weeks. Yeah? Congratulations.
New edition of the fist bump? I like that. Smile, Michelle.
She's so tiny, she could do it anyway. With 15 years in the office of the Chief of Police, Police Officer Tyler Cruz, who celebrated about a month and a half ago in the Personnel Services Unit. All right.
Oh,
He said no.
he said no.
Also with 15 years, Sergeant Donald Mastemacher from the Wildwood Precinct, who is also going to get his in about 2 weeks, meaning he'll pass his full 15 years. So thank you, sir. Also with 15 years, 2 more from the Division of Special Operations, Sergeant Daniel Hill from the SRU, celebrated a little bit earlier this year. Sir, congratulations. And our last with 15 years, Police Officer James Borzillo, and also with the Special Response Unit, and also the same date of hire. That's pretty sweet. Same academy. Picture, no picture. Sorry, did I photobomb that accidentally? My apologies. With 10 years of service from the Division of Patrol, Sergeant Monica Freer from the Afton Southwest Precinct. Sergeant, thank you very much.
Warm in here.
It is very warm in here. Yeah, it is when you first walk in. And moving to 5 years from the Division of Operational Support in the ECN, Nikki Cower. Nikki, is it okay if we use that term? Very good. Again, as we conclude, the board, along with the community, appreciates every year of service we have. Those of you who have given those years of service to us, we know what that means to you. We know what it means to our community. We know what it means to our department. So on behalf of the board, we thank every one of you quite deeply. All right, sir, now we move it over to you.
Some awards to present Chief's commendations. First up is Public Safety Dispatcher Abby Husky.
Yeah, so in July of 23, we received a call. Abby took the call in communications for an individual in mental health crisis in the city of Jennings. He believed that individuals were chasing him, trying to kill him, and so he ran into a vacant house, and he actually called 911. And Abby took the call. He was clearly in a mental health crisis, experiencing delusions, hallucinations. He was armed with a weapon. As Jennings officers contained the residence, he fired a shot off in the residence. And so Abby continued to talk to this individual, reassure him, And at one point, he actually was prepared to come out, but he was fearful that there were people in the house that were there to kill him, so he was going to come out with the firearm, which would had a potentially negative outcome if you come out in crisis with a firearm that has potential to end poorly. So Abby actually talked him into staying in the residence and continued to work with him. She talked to him for an hour and a half and ultimately was able to convince him to put the firearm down and come out of the residence without the firearm, taken into custody safely, got himself to the hospital and got himself the help he needed. She also coordinated with PSD2 Katie Hill, who was on the radio. So in addition, it's hard enough just to talk to someone, but in addition to talking to this individual, she was also sending information to PSD2 Hill, who was sending that information out to the officers. So a really, really great job. We're proud of Abby and the work she does for communications. So thank you.
Well done. Gotta wave.
Next up, we have CAD Tech Specialist Edward Barrett. Oh. CAD Specialist Matthew Beasley. And we got CAD Specialist Lloyd Count.
Yeah, so in October of 23, we transitioned to a new CAD system. And so for most of us, we just, the day came and we just switched over to a new CAD system. But what these gentlemen did in the background was put in a lot of work for several years building up to that time that we flipped that switch. And so they helped find the proper CAD system for us. Those last few months leading into the implementation of the CAD system, there was every public safety dispatcher had to be trained on how to utilize it. All the officers on the street had to be trained on the proper use of the CAD system. And what a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know before coming to communications, is we actually dispatched for 39 municipal partners as well. So they had to go out and make sure that all those agencies were on the same page as well. So it was a pretty big undertaking and a lot of meetings. I know I went to several meetings where I only, to be honest, understood about a third of what was being said. But one of these three would say, "It's all right, boss, we've got it. We've got your back." And so leading up to that day where we switched over, we were able to do that with no interruption. The consequences, obviously, of that not going smooth could be significant in interruption of service for the community. But thanks to these three, we had a very smooth transition to our new CAD system. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Wow. The two sisters. Double date.
Next up, we have Public Safety Dispatcher Nicole Mueller.
It is. Appreciate the opportunity. So Nicole, in June of 23, received a call for a woman who was suicidal. She was going to jump off of an overpass onto the highway to kill herself. And so Nicole talked to her for 8 minutes. And, you know, having been on the department for 25 years and participated in a lot of crisis negotiations, what I heard from Nicole and actually from Abby as well was a lot of the things that you would see out of a seasoned crisis negotiator. And so in that 8-minute call, Nicole did a really good job to establish rapport. She calmed this individual down, and you can hear at the end of the call, you can actually hear the officers arrive and take over and get her to help. But a life-saving award to me is a big deal, and don't take that lightly. So I actually followed up with the individual that was in crisis a couple weeks later and had a conversation with her, and she was doing very well. She had spent some time in a behavioral health facility, and she was taking her medication. And at the time that Nicole talked to her, she was unhoused. They helped her find housing. But specifically what stood out to me is she cited her conversation with Nicole and what she did and what she said as saving her life with that connection that she established. So really great job, Nicole. We're proud of you.
Not easy work, but thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No promotion?
I'm sorry.
Do we have?
No, she couldn't make it today.
She couldn't make it. Thank you. That's right. I remember that. Thank you. All right, moving to section G, we'll turn it over, continue to give it to you for your chief's report.
Okay, do you, those that are, we're getting ready to get into the business of things, you're more than welcome to stay if you wish, otherwise you're free to leave.
Thank you all again. Congratulations. Family and friends, thank you for being here to support them.
Sauce, pass the sauce, take a hit, pass the sauce.
Did you take a hit? Mike, need a hit?
Absolutely, absolutely. I know my function.
Thank you very much.
I know my function on this board.
Still figuring mine out.
I'm the sanitizer guy. Yeah. Yeah, that's me, Captain Sanitizer.
I never use this evidently because my email,
Oh, I never do it.
my emails from 2023.
Much. I keep it charged, but I don't do much. Wow, we emptied the room. There's nobody left.
Yeah.
We got like 8 people in here. Okay. They got reports.
Right. First up is Terry Moran with the budget report.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have, okay, on the 2024, which we're not very far in, 3.43 pay periods, but it's going to be a huge surplus in the salaries and fringes, because remember, they didn't cut
Sorry, we're
us.
having a
Hold on.
trouble.
Yes, please. Gentlemen, can you shut the door, please? Thank you. Thanks, Terry.
For the 2024, only 3.43 pay periods have gone through yet. So, but the salaries and fringes are showing a really large surplus because they didn't cut anything. Where last year, remember, they cut the 7.7 million. So like 18 million. We'll see though, how the retirement percentage goes and then overtime. So we'll just have to kind of see how it goes every pay period. And then to correlate that with 2023, we had 9 million, but we took out the 7.7, so we really only had 1.3, so it kind of matches.
We're going to have a whole bunch of hires this year, right?
Yes,
Fill
we
up that.
will.
His-
Okay, and then-
Historically, in the first quarter,
Mhm.
how much overall vacation and leave, vacation and things that cause us to incur more overtime?
Overtime. It's pretty low.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we would
Starts to pick up
expect
in
a
spring.
surplus.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Yes, we do.
So what I'm hearing is
We're
the
gonna-
surplus is not indicative of anything.
No, but I will say we will have a large surplus.
Okay.
You know, but hopefully not 18 million.
Hopefully not at all.
Right, right, yeah, right, true. Okay, and then you have in your packet the 22, 23, 24. Do you have any questions on that? Do you want me to?
Haven't had a chance to look at it
You
yet.
haven't.
I haven't, the others may.
It's, so, I don't know if, I really wasn't sure if you're comparing every object or account or what. I can say that in 2022, we returned 3%. In 2023, we returned 1%. So I don't know, is there any specific questions or anything you had? No? You want to look at it and let me know?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
All right, that's it.
Very good.
All right.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
Captain Shelby, you up, sir?
Morning.
Morning.
So I know we had discussed, obviously, making the monthly board meeting crime statistics a lot quicker. So I'll just give you just a little 1-minute dissertation on some of the highlights from them, and then next month we will do the full thing for the quarterly report. So our BPS and internal affairs statistics overall trending in a positive direction through the first 2 months of the year. Internal investigations, department vehicle accidents, and pursuits are all down compared to 2023 at this point. Uses of force are slightly up through 2 months. The failure to yields continue to occur mainly in the 1st, 8th, and 4th precincts, accounting for over 70% of the 326 total through the first 2 months. Our homicides are up 7 this year compared to 5 last year in unincorporated county and our contract municipalities. This is obviously through the end of February. And Crimes Against Persons has investigated 15 homicides through the end of February compared to 10 from last year. That includes the quadruple homicide that occurred in Ferguson, as well as another one in Riverview. Overall, crimes against persons are down 7% year to date, which is a good thing. And even better, crimes against property are down 27% year to date, with stolen vehicles down 45% overall. Those are the highlights.
Appreciate those highlights.
Any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Director Wagner, you up,
All right, good morning.
Morning.
So we are still experiencing pretty much the same staffing issues in terms of our commission staff that we've been experiencing. Our number of applications have increased, which is good, but the quality of applicants has not gotten any better. So that is why we're still kind of experiencing that same issue. We do still have 12 recruits in the academy. They'll be graduating in June. And actually, our June academy is looking really strong so far. We already have 1 recruit that's confirmed and is in our pre-recruit program. We're waiting on medical evaluations for 3 more. And then we have 5 that are scheduled for next week for our final review boards, and 2 more in background. So we potentially have 10 that are looking really good for starting for June academy already, and it's only March. So that's really good. And then we also have 3 experienced officers that are in backgrounds right now. So it is looking better. It's just slow. So we're working really hard through that right now. For professional staff, we currently have.
Before we move on, could I ask
Oh,
a
I'm
quick
sorry.
question?
Of course.
So you said the quality of applicants is still not high.
Right.
So if we're getting a greater number of applicants, are we getting a greater proportional number of qualified applicants? Or is the raw number of applicants that are qualified the same? We're just getting more bad applicants to weed through?
Correct. That is correct. So we're getting
Okay.
a higher number, but still not getting a lot of quality.
Okay, so we're seeing the same number of true potential candidates?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're just working through that right now. So that tells me that our advertising is working, but we're not targeting the right people yet.
Okay.
So we're really digging into that and where can we target our marketing a little bit better.
Have we identified areas where we're going to pull back?
Not yet, because we're still evaluating. but we are targeting other markets of where we could be, pushing into. So for instance, we're looking at potentially marketing in like New York Post. For instance, NYPD is no longer allowing beards. And so they've lost quite a few officers. And so we're looking at potentially, marketing there. And so our cost of living is a lot lower here. So could we potentially be marketing there and potentially pulling some officers there? So we're looking at things like that. We're thinking outside the box. What can we be doing? So for our professional staff, we currently have 8 vacancies right now for security officers. We have 1 security officer that's going to final review boards next week. We have 1 that we're waiting on for medical evaluation. So we're making good strides there. And then in dispatch, we just had 6 graduate from Dispatch Academy last week, and we already have 6 in our Dispatch Academy for next month. So that starts in April. So we're making really, really good strides in our professional staff as well. In terms of retention, this is kind of where our win is right now. Maybe a small win, but we're going to call that a win. So we're still experiencing a decrease in resignations and retirements. So we're still seeing numbers that are like pre-2021 numbers. So that's great. So we're holding on to that, and we're going to capitalize on that. So one thing that our office is currently working on is a stay survey. So we talk a lot about exit surveys, and we look at that data a lot. But why are we waiting to survey our employees that are leaving us? Why aren't we talking to our people that are still here, our people that are staying? Why aren't we listening to what they have to say and their opinion and looking at, what that is telling us? So I'm currently working on the questions and crafting that survey. And we're going to be sending that out very soon and really looking at what our employees are having to say, kind of getting a pulse on our employees right now and what that can tell us, and then looking at what we can do with that information. So really looking at retention. And even though it's looking okay, I don't want to say it looks great because just because we're seeing pre-2021 numbers doesn't mean that's still great. But it's looking better than it has in the past few years. But we still want to look at that and see what we can still improve upon. In terms of recruiting, we do have our mass hiring and open house event coming up on Saturday, March 30th at the Academy. So we've been really pushing that out on social media. We're going to be partnering with our media partners in the next week or two to really push that out as well. So we're looking forward to that and hopefully being able to make that successful. And then we also pushed out a department-wide email about our employee referral bonus to really just remind employees about that, because again, all of our employees are our best recruiters. So just really trying to push that as well. So that's what we have going on.
Director, one question, if you don't mind.
Of course.
The beard policy in New York City, why did they move away from it?
They wanted to kind of just clean up their look. They lost 150 officers in the first week. So they gave their officers a week's notice that it was going away, that they could no longer have any beards whatsoever, and they lost 150 officers the first week it went away.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome.
I have one question on the survey.
Sure.
I think that's a great idea, and maybe it's not a question, but more a statement. I hope we're all committed to listening to the survey results
Absolutely.
and then implementing,
Mhm.
what makes most sense for the department. I've seen that spectacularly fail and spectacularly succeed.
Yes,
The worst thing you can do is ask people their opinion,
And then not.
it goes in a box somewhere.
absolutely. Yep, I think the biggest piece is going to be being very transparent with the results and sharing those results and being committed to that, like you said, and really taking those results. And even if it takes time to implement some changes based on that, but then also being transparent about, hey, we heard what you said, here's what we're going to do, and here's what our plan is based on what you said. Of course, there's going to be some things that we can't. We always hear feedback on take-home cars. We would love to be able to give everybody a take-home car. We just can't. We want to move towards that, but is that realistic? No. But so there's going to be things we can't do, of course, but there's going to be things we can. And that's our goal. But we want to be very transparent about that.
If you don't mind me building on Commissioner Wild's comment, the best stay survey is the one that the individual and direct leader of the employee has with the relationship they have with their people. If that dialogue's going on, that's the best stay survey there is.
Definitely. Yeah, ideally in organizations, the best stay survey is one that you can do in person, that you can sit down and you can do one-on-one with somebody and you do it as a dialogue. But unfortunately, we're not in a position where, I feel like we can do that effectively. So, I think the best way to do that right now is to do that, via SurveyMonkey or something right now. But I hope that we can get to a point where we can do those one-on-one conversations.
Hopefully, they're doing it all the time, right? So you get the
Yes.
organizational feedback that you focus on, and the individual leader gets what's going on his or her shift or department or team or
Absolutely.
unit or whatever.
Yep.
Very good. Anything else? Anything else?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our February 14th, 2024 meeting. May we have a motion to approve the minutes from our February 14th, 2024 meeting?
I move that we approve the minutes from the February 14th
14th.
meeting.
Second.
Second, any further conversation on the February 14th, 2024 minutes? All in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Great. Also in the approval of minutes, may we have a motion to approve our March 6th, 2024 meeting minutes?
I move that the minutes from March 6th be approved.
Second.
Any further conversation on the March 6 minutes? All in favor of approval of the March 6 minutes, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Very good. Letters and communications. Any incoming communications, Amy? Any outgoing communications? Would that not be in public? No, it's okay. Thank you. Excellent. Appreciate it. Old business. So next on the agenda item is any old business. I think our first comment would be if you're here to meet with the Board of Commissioners later in closed sessions for your appeals, would you follow Diana?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Lieutenant, can you take them down to the training room? And Diana will have some stuff down there for them to understand. So you are, for those of you who are here to participate in the appeals process, if you'll please follow the lieutenant down, you're welcome to do so. We need some information for you prior to. Thank you. Anything else in old business? Very good. In new business, we have contracts up first. We have 20 contracts. Just as a sheer suggestion, shall we break them up in 7, 7, and 6? Fine, thank you. All right, so we'll do 7, 7, and 6, and the last comment on this will be all but one. So 19 of the 20 are related to the CMPA. All right, the first contract is a professional service agreement with Sally Freeze. It is a new contract for the approval of an instructor to teach a program entitled Basic Peer Support for up to 3 sessions between April 1, 2024 and December 31, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $4,800. The second is a professional service agreement, also with Sally Freeze. It is to a new contract to approve an instructor for a program entitled Advanced Peer Support for up to 3 sessions between April 1, 2024 and December 31, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $4,800. The third is a professional service agreement with the Right Solutions, Inc. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Basic Peer Support for up to 3 sessions between April 1, 2024 and December 31, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $4,800. The fourth is a professional service agreement also with The Right Solution, Inc. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Advanced Peer Support for up to 3 sessions between April 1, 2024 and December 31, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $4,800. The fifth is a professional service agreement with Patrick E. Horin. It is a new contract to teach an instructor to teach a program entitled Instructor Development on May 13th through May 17th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $1,895. The sixth is a professional service agreement also with Patrick E. Horin. It's a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Curriculum Development on April 3rd, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $265. The 7th is a professional service agreement with CP Crime Scene Consulting and Seminars LLC. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Basic Fire and Explosion Investigations for Officers and Investigators on May 13th, 2024 at a cost, excuse me, at a cost not to exceed $1,200. Forgive me. May we have a motion to approve the first 7 contracts for the CMPA?
I move that we approve these contracts for the CMPA.
Second.
Any further conversation on the first 7 contracts? All in favor of approving the first 7 contracts, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Excuse me. Do the best we can. The 8th contract is a professional service agreement, also with CP Crime Scene Consulting and Seminars LLC. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Crash Scene Investigations on April 9th, 2024, at a cost not to exceed $1,200. The 9th is a professional service agreement with Public Grants and Training Initiatives. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Today's Professional and Effective Interview and Interrogation Approach from April 9th, 2024 to April 11th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $9,500. The 10th is a professional service agreement with Training Force USA LLC. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Report Reviews for Supervisors on May 3rd, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $4,250. The 11th is a professional service agreement with Training Force USA LLC. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Societal Trends Dealing with Millennials/High-Performance Teams on May 7th and May 8th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $7,750. The 12th is a professional service agreement also with Training Force USA LLC. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Managing Generational Differences on May 2, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $4,250. The 13th is a professional service agreement also with Training Force USA LLC. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Artificial Intelligence on April 12th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $4,250. The 14th contract is a professional service agreement with Professional Law Enforcement Training LLC. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Police and Minority Relations on May 6, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $3,350. May we have a motion to approve the second set of 7 contracts for the CMPA?
I move that we approve these 7 contracts for the CMPA.
Second.
Thank you. Any further conversation on the second 7 contracts for CMPA? All in favor of approving these contracts, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the last 6, the 15th is a professional service agreement with Professional Law Enforcement Training LLC. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Advanced Search and Seizure on April 17th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $3,350. The 16th is a professional service agreement with Force Science LTD. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Force Encounters Course on May 1st and 2nd, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $9,990. The 17th is a professional service agreement with Vista Law Enforcement Training and Consulting LLC. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled New Detective Investigative Workshop from April 22nd, 2024 to April 24th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $1,000. The 18th is a professional service agreement with TriTech Forensics, Inc. It is a new contract for an instructor to teach a program entitled Fingerprint Evidence and Processing from May 6, 2024 to May 10th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $11,895. The 19th is a professional service agreement with the City of Florissant. It is a new contract for the assignment of 1 police officer to the St. Louis County St. Louis County and Municipal Police Academy. The City of Florissant will be reimbursed by the St. Louis County in the amount of the employee's salary throughout the contract term, including payment of direct benefits and overhead. Term of the agreement is upon execution through December 31st, 2024, at a cost not to exceed $123,793.23. And the final agreement is a memorandum of understanding with the United States Department of Veteran Affairs. It is a renewal of an existing memorandum of understanding reaffirming the general working relationship between the St. Louis John Cochran VA HCS, Veterans Affairs Healthcare Systems, and the St. Louis County Police Department as a means of reinforcing interagency coordination and responsibility concerning law enforcement, emergency response, requests for assistance, and physical security and access control operations at the St. Louis County VA Community-Based Outpatient Clinic located at 6854 Parker Road. Terms of the memorandum is upon execution for 3 years with no additional cost. May we have a final motion to approve the last 6 contracts?
These contracts be approved.
I second that motion.
Any further conversation on the final 6 contracts? All in favor of approval of these last 6 contracts, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Very good. We have 20 new contracts. Congratulations. Some of them look extraordinary, not that they all don't, but some of them look really interesting. Just in my household, I could use that millennials, and do they do that for parents too? High perform? Anyway, I see a lot of heads going up and down, so a lot of you have millennials and or teens at home, so that's a good thing, right? All right, with that, Captain, we'll invite you back up. 2 general orders to work through.
So 2 general orders on the agenda today. The first one is General Order 36, Uniforms and Appearance. Some of the revisions in this general order, basically it's all about, the main portion is the inclusion of the load-bearing vests and the wearing of department badges. If you've had a chance to look at that, are there any questions regarding General Order 36?
I had a quick question. I think it's on page 8. It's section 8F1J1 that says the load-bearing vest may only be requested by officers who have successfully completed the field training program.
That's correct.
So does that mean that officers are going to be wearing belts during academy and while they're training? And then at some point thereafter, they can switch over to a vest?
That's accurate.
Okay, and in order to do that, they'll have to do the training for the taser and whatever else they're doing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions?
We assume that this general order will be updated every time there is a new badge offered or one that's disposed of or no longer
Yes, sir.
authorized.
At least through, it will be revisited, and at worst, a special order would be issued for that badge.
Very good. Any further questions? All right, may we have a motion to approve General Order 24-036?
I move that we approve General Order 24-036.
Second.
Any further conversation on this general order? All in favor of approving General Order 24-036, uniforms and appearance, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved, sir.
Thank you. And the second one is General Order 65, Domestic Violence Procedures. Some of the revisions, most of them revolved around just verbiage and new statutes. And obviously, also officer response instructions were also clarified in this order to meet department expectations. Any questions regarding domestic violence procedures?
I had one. I don't know whether anyone else had one. There is mention in here, forgive me that I didn't highlight it, I just read it when we read it last night, about an unintentional child abuse. What would that be for someone who doesn't quite understand that? And I can find it quickly, forgive me. Is that where it was? Says, yeah, thank you, Commissioner. Does not include abuse inflicted on a child by accidental means by a household member. What does that mean?
So you're looking for more of a, so Sergeant Steyer, who runs our domestic violence unit, can clarify because obviously she deals with this on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Good morning, Board. So when there's a domestic situation in which maybe the victim or survivor is having the child in their arms or
a child is unintentionally hurt by an object or something during the altercation between the victim of the domestic violence and the suspect. Because children are typically in the home when domestics are happening.
And that's a commonly understood interpretation of
Yes.
accidental. All right, thank you.
Our unit will assume all of it with the domestic, since we do have a child abuse unit. We just assume all of it, so 2 units are investigating the domestic violence part of it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, we're letting you off easy. Yeah. Thank you. All right, may we have a motion to approve General Order 24-065?
Move that we approve General Order 21-065.
24. 24.
It's a 2-1.
I'm looking at it.
That's the old one.
It was in my folder.
Yeah, it's all right. It's General Order 20, at the very top, I think it says General Order 2024-065. Anyway, we have a motion to approve 24. Thank you. May we have a,
I'll second that motion to approve General Order 24-065.
any further conversations on this general order? All in favor of approving General Order 24-065, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? All right, sir, you've got 2 general orders approved. Thank you much. Ma'am, thank you for being here to explain it. We appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to recognize the sergeant and the work that she does. That's probably one of the hardest things in police work, is dealing with these domestic violence situations. And they so often have tragic outcomes, so I know you live it every day, and I'm not sure how, but we certainly appreciate all your efforts.
Very well said, sir. Nicely done. All right. Next up is public forum. Is it pronounced Pieper? Yes. Mr. Pieper, you are, if you will use this microphone over here, and we appreciate you sticking to the 3 minutes that is required.
First, I wanted to thank you for stopping to talk with me briefly last week when I was in, and also to your staff person for helping me come before the board today and getting some information for me. I wanted to talk to you briefly this morning about something called the Warrior Cop Training Program. This is a very controversial police training program based here in St. Louis, but which is apparently being administered widely across the nation. It promotes a very aggressive, militaristic form of policing. It encourages officers to think actively about situations in which they might be called upon to shoot or kill someone, and is based on the premise that there are 3 types of people in the population. The general population, who they refer to as the sheep, the wolves, who are out to get the sheep, and the police, or the sheep hounds, as they call them, who are necessary to protect the sheep. Now, personally, I take umbrage being called a sheep, but beyond that, I'm concerned that this is not a good thing for police officers in this day and age to be seeing. And again, this has generated a considerable amount of bad publicity, which I believe you find if you simply Google search for it. I come by knowledge of this because, as some of you probably know, Brentwood, Richmond Heights, and the county were sued about 3 years ago in federal court related to a shooting, police-involved shooting out here on Eager Road. The suit alleges that the shooting occurred in part because the officers had attended a Warrior Cop program presented for area police officers by the St. Louis County Police Academy. And I can give you all the dates when the suit alleges this training occurred. I did a little, with the assistance of your staff, a little checking. I'm unable to determine completely whether this course was offered here or not. The Police Academy records only go back 7 years. It's possible that this course, first, it kind of goes out of saying that the Warrior Cop program offered by something, I swear to you, called the Killology Institute, and offered by a guy named Dave Grossman, who is one guy working out of his house in Muscogee, Illinois. This is not a post-certified continuing education program. In fact, I did call Post about this last year, and I don't have my notes from the conversation, but they appeared to know about this course, and I got the impression they would not be unhappy if it went away. So, again, I can go through all the data I have here for you on when we think this might have been given or if it wasn't given. I understand everything in a lawsuit is not necessarily correct. But I just thought I would bring this to the attention of the board because apparently this course has spurred a whole cottage industry of militaristic police training programs, which again, I'm sure you will find with a simple Google search. So probably if this hasn't been here, somebody's going to try and bring it here at some point or another. I'm wondering, is this something the board needs to enact a policy to prevent? I know, according to what I found, this program has actually been banned by law in Minnesota. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. If you have further information on whether this was given here or not, I would appreciate it because, well, apparently it has already become, at least in part, the basis for a lawsuit. And I think probably at some point or another, this type of training will certainly be at least controversial. I appreciate your time.
Mr. Pieper, thank you for bringing it to our attention. We appreciate it greatly. Anyone else? Thank you. All right. With that, next on the board agenda is a motion to hold closed hearing. The Board of Police Commissioners may vote to go into closed meeting for legal advice and review of claims and lawsuits involving the police department, Section 610.0211 RSMO and Section 114.020.11 SLCRO, and for discussion of employee and personnel matters, Sections 610.0213 and 13 RSMO and Sections 114.02013 and 13 SLCRO.
I move we go into closed meeting.
Second?
Any further conversation on moving into closed meeting? Amy, would you take a roll call vote to move to close, please? Yes.
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 Thank you. We're moving to closed session. The rest of you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Enjoy your St. Patty's Day responsibly. We have returned from closed session. Commissioner Hassler needed to leave the closed session for personal matters. We voted in closed session to return to open session, and it was a unanimous vote. Each of us acknowledged in the affirmative. Our next meeting is on Wednesday, April 10th at 9 a.m. And anything else before we motion to adjourn?
No, sir. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Apparently, any further conversation on motion to adjourn? Wait, we don't have Diana or Amy. Can we do it on our own?
I think we can do it on our own.
All right, I vote yes.
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 Meeting adjourned.